Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas was back in front of lawmakers on Thursday, and he faced tough questions about his department's plan to address an anticipated rise in migration next month when Title 42 is lifted. CBS News' Natalie Brand has more.
The partisan divide over the southern border was on full display as DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas faced questions and at times attacks before the House Judiciary Committee.
My constituents want you impeached because they believe you've committed treason.
They have high interest in border theater. They're not interested in solving problems.
DHS is preparing for a potential spike in migration with next month's plan to wind down Title 42, the pandemic-era health rule which has effectively closed the border to most asylum seekers.
They're going to make matters worse when they rescind Title 42.
Title 42 is a public health measure, not an immigration control strategy.
This secretary's plan includes surging resources to the border, expanding migrant processing, expediting removal for those who don't qualify for asylum, tapping non-government agencies to help, and also cracking down on human smugglers.
We inherited a broken and dismantled system that is already under strain. Only Congress can fix this.
Even ahead of the policy change, DHS says it's facing historic levels of migration. Apprehensions at the border soared last month to a 22-year high.
Throughout the world, the number of individuals displaced from their home countries is greater now than it ever has been. And we are working in response to a regional challenge with a regional solution.
The political fight on Capitol Hill over Title 42 comes as a legal fight is playing out in the courts. A federal judge has ordered the rule to stay in place for now while he weighs the arguments. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin of Michigan joins us now for more. Congresswoman, good to have you here on Red and Blue. You agree with the administration that Title 42 should be lifted, and Secretary Mayorkas admitted that would cause an influx of migrants coming into the United States. So what's the administration's plan for that scenario?
Well, actually, a couple of us actually wrote a letter to the administration saying we had a concern, a problem, frankly, with the Title 42 being lifted, and that until and unless we had a plan, and a real plan, right? I think Mayorkas laid out what the Department of Homeland Security plan would be, surging, folks to the border and Customs and Border Protection. But what I'm looking for is something more comprehensive, right? It's not about Title 42. It's about actually having a way that keeps people from having to surge over our border and instead lets them apply from home, a comprehensive piece of immigration reform. That's what we haven't seen. And I think that's why we all have a problem with this title being lifted. It's because we know that there's not that comprehensive plan in place. So that's a problem.
Is there any chance a comprehensive piece of legislation could happen before November?
I mean, look, we at least need to know what the suggestion is. I think there's a lot of legislation we've looked at here, but I think it starts with incentivizing people to apply from their home countries, right? Most people coming to the United States over our southern border are economic migrants. They just want to make money to be able to support their families, like many of our families did generations before. Allow them to, apply from home, get vetted, and legally come here to work. That's what I think is the plan. It's not complicated. Congress is at fault. Democrats and Republicans for years have shirked this responsibility, but we need to hear from the administration what they want us to do and then see that real push to get it done.
Congresswoman, Secretary Mayorkas, he was on Capitol Hill today, speaking out for the administration at a hearing over Title 42. In his opening address, he shifted the blame over immigration issues away from the administration. Let's listen for a moment to what he said.
We inherited a broken and dismantled system that is already under strain. It is not built to manage the current levels and types of migratory flows. Only Congress can fix this. Yet we have effectively managed an unprecedented number of non-citizens seeking to enter the United States and interdicted more drugs and disrupted more smuggling operations than ever before.
Congresswoman, if you had time tonight with President Biden and the Secretary, just you three in a room, what would you say to them right now about what should be done differently?
I would say I understand that they inherited a terrible system, but it's now in their lap. And we need something that changes the game on our southern border, that incentivizes applying from your home country to come here to work legally. And until we get that, we're going to have year after year this cycle of these surges of migration, of one administration after another, kicking the can down the road until we deal with it. And so let's just do it. Let's bite the bullet and come up with that comprehensive plan. And we'll fight for that here on Capitol Hill. But that's what I need to hear from them, not just how they're going to surge border agents down again year after year.
Should immigration levels, lowering legal immigration, be on the table in any way?
Well, listen, every employer that I know is looking for labor, right? Everyone I know is looking for people to work in their places. Go talk to our farmers. They cannot get enough people to work on the farms. They want legal vetted labor. And the administration can actually raise the caps on some of these visas for folks coming in. That's the kind of thing that I think we need to key immigration to our economy, right? It's based on the needs of our country. And right now, I think most people believe we need labor. So let's key it to that.
And what's next for House Democrats on this? I mean, you can only do so much when you're in the House, and the Senate will do what the Senate wants to do. You sent a letter. What next? Are you going to pressure Speaker Pelosi, put something on the floor?
Well, I think we have been pressuring leadership both in the White House and in the House, and that's why Speaker Pelosi has said very publicly that she doesn't have the votes to pass a repeal of Title 42. She doesn't have the votes to do what the president wants to do. So this is where, high stakes negotiations come in, and those conversations are happening. But I think I'm a CIA officer by training. We shouldn't be politicizing security of the homeland. And that's what's happening on both sides of the aisle. And it isn't good for anybody.
Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.